Hello, my name is Brandon Gibson, and I'm going to be discussing obesity as my social problem. I picked this problem because it is a growing issue in our nation that many people do not see as a huge issue. When you think about social issues, obesity is one of the last problems that comes to mind, if it even does at all. So, this made me kind of want to raise awareness about the issue of obesity. I also just finished a class last semester that talked a lot about obesity, so this kind of gave me more knowledge leading up to this class. So that was another reason I picked this topic. I have several friends as well that struggle being overweight and they struggle trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So all those reasons kind of led me to picking this topic. To start off, there are three different terms of weight I would like to briefly discuss because a lot of people don't know the difference between these. The three terms are overweight, obesity, and morbid obesity. So, overweight is when a person is slightly above a weight considered normal or desirable. Obesity is a condition characterized by abnormal or excessive fat accumulation, and this is also known as chronic positive energy balance. And then finally, morbid obesity is when a person's body weight is double the recommended weight based on their age and their height. So many people also don't know how to determine which category they belong to or another person belongs to. So this is classified by determining the body mass index, also known as the BMI, of a person. Body mass index is just the height to weight ratio. So it's pretty easy to figure out. And you can figure this out by just typing it in on Google and it'll bring up a calculator for you. And the ranges are as following. So BMI under 18.5 is considered underweight. From 18.5 to 24.9 is normal weight. BMI of 25 to 29.9 is considered overweight, and 30 and above is obese. And then morbid obesity, which is extreme or severe obesity, is considered 40 and above for BMI. And that's according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So now I kind of want to move to what causes obesity because it's really scary how many people deal with this issue. More than 2/3 of adults are overweight or obese in America, and over 32% of American children are obese. This number has doubled since 1980. According to the Harvard School of Health and the CDC, genetics do actually play a role in obesity, but it's to a much lesser degree than people generally think. Genes seem to increase the risk of weight gain and interact with other risk factors in the environment, like unhealthy diets and inactive lifestyles. But healthy lifestyles can counteract those genetic effects, basically. According to a news analysis published in a cancer journal for clinicians that I looked at, the availability of cheaper food is what they consider the main reason behind the rising rates of obesity in the United States. A cheaper diet allows people to eat more, but in turn, they're not eating as healthy. Nowadays, we have a significant amount of fast food restaurants. These allow people greater convenience, reduced time cost of obtaining meals, and increased accessibility to food. This trend has been one of the main causes of weight gain since the 1980s. Even going to the grocery store, you notice that healthy food is a lot more expensive than the cheap food or the junk food. It's not shocking to me that there is a correlation between low income and obesity. Low income families just can't afford to eat healthy all the time. From the websites I researched, the common number between them was that healthy food is about 3 times as expensive as junk food. And overall, men and women with college degrees also had a lower obesity prevalence rate compared to those with less education, and that was according to the CDC as well. Another fun comparison I found was that in the 1930s, Americans spent 1/4 of their disposable income on food. 1/4. By the 1950s, that number had dropped to about 1/5, so just a little drop. And then the most recent research finds Americans now spend less than 1/10 of their money on food. So I'm going to college to be a teacher, and I also wanted to kind of discuss the causes of obesity that I see in schools, kind of dealing with children. So physical education is always among one of the first things that schools cut in regards to time. So that way they have time for other things such as testing. And because of this, children are not getting in their daily exercise that they need to. Children should get at least 60 minutes of exercise every day. So an hour of exercise every day that children should get. As you can tell, there are several things that factor into obesity, and we could go on and on and on and on, talking about several more causes of obesity, but I kind of like to move on to the results of obesity. Obesity can cause several medical issues, including heart disease, diabetes, elevated cholesterol, high blood pressure, breathing problems, strokes, certain types of cancer, anxiety, and several other problems. It just causes a low quality of life in many cases. Plus, people who are overweight marry less often, gain entry to less desirable jobs, make less money, and are publicly shamed on social media and in other ways. And that's according to social psychology. We talked a lot about that in my last class, so about in social psychology. So it's a big issue. Obesity is also very expensive. The estimated annual medical cost of obesity in the United States was about $147 billion in 2008. So imagine what that number would be like now with inflation and everything. The medical cost for people who have obesity was about $1,400 higher than those with normal weight. So healthy food may cost more, but in the long run, it'll save you from those high medical bills in the future. So what are some possible solutions to the problem of obesity? There really is no single answer or an easy answer to solving the huge obesity issue in our nation, since there are so many things that factor into it. However, we can each do our part to start this change and start living healthier lifestyles. The first thing I think we need to do is bring awareness to the issue, since it doesn't receive enough recognition, in my opinion. The second step would then be to decrease the amount of fast food we eat. Our nation eats way too much fast food and junk food. I understand that this is the only food that some people can afford, but there are some local resources that can help, and we probably do need more of these resources to become available as well if we really want to spark that change. Obviously, eating healthy and exercising are two of the most important things a person can do to maintain a healthy weight. There are many apps on your phone, I know, that can help you manage both of those things, or for workouts, or to count your calories, or whatever the case may be. So I know those are available to help as well. If you have kids or relatives, drag them along with you to go exercise. To me, it's so much easier to maintain a healthy lifestyle with others than it is to try and do it alone. Another thing that's important is getting an education. Like I said earlier, the research showed that people with higher education are less likely to become obese. So, and then going back to the schools, I also learned that I can help out as a classroom teacher, not even being a PE teacher. With PE being cut, I feel obligated to get my students up and moving more. And I can do that by incorporating what they call physically active academic lesson plans into my lessons. So in my classroom, I'll do these lessons just to get students up and moving. It doesn't even have to be running, just up and walking. That'll be more beneficial to them than just having them sitting there. So all of these potential solutions are easier said than done. It takes a lot of effort to maintain a healthy lifestyle. It won't be easy to make change happen, but it will be worth it to begin setting the right trend moving forward for future generations. If obesity continues to rise, our generation will be the first one to have a life expectancy lower than our parents' generation. That's pretty shocking. To end this video, I would like to leave you with one question to think about. What are you doing to make a difference with obesity? Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it.